It is a crisp winter night in Mountain View, California, but very pleasant inside the gym at St. Francis High School for this varsity showdown between the visiting St. Ignatius Wildcats and the home team, St. Francis Lancers. I'm Mike Messner. I'll be here to bring you all the action. We're just getting ready to tip off here, and I'll catch you up on some of the background of some of these two teams as we go forward and as I have time. What I can tell you is that the last time these two teams played was back on January 14th in San Francisco. St. Francis got the better of that one, 56-44. And the Lancers win that tip-off. Now outside the key. Over to the left side. Dribbling, trying to pick it up. There's Harlan Banks there, number 5. Now Isaiah Kerr. Now back outside, three-point attempt, in and out. Bounced around a little bit, and St. Ignatius gets it. Driving, tries, no, won't go. That was Malcolm McCray Hill on there. Now here come the Lancers. That's Kyle Rosenkrantz and Ryan Daly. Back to Rosenkrantz. There's Kerr, and the whistle goes. And the referee saw something he didn't like. And that went against St. Ignatius. The ball bounded back in to Isaiah Kerr. Now to Banks. Driving. No good. Okay, back gets his own rebound. Pivots, back out, driving in. Puts up, and it's good from the left baseline. And the Lancers draw first blood here. Full court press right now by the Lancers against the Wildcats. Now they bring it in. And loose ball there, but he managed to get a hold of it there. That was Daniel Webster. And now Giancarlo Toledo. Driving into the key, somebody took a spill. Loose ball, and the Lancers come up with it. And that was Nicholas Weitzel. Bring it in now. Off the screen. Now back around. Thinks about a three-pointer. Then thinks about then. Drives again, now loose ball, the Lancers come up with it. Pivoting out, three-pointer, no good. St. Ignatius driving quickly here, and it's almost stolen, and it is stolen there. And here comes Isaiah Kerr, he passes off, now back to Kerr, lays it in, in and out. Here comes Ethan Jew. Now in and out of the key, now back out again, over the arc. Webster is signaling. That was Weehite. And Luso goes, and I think he may have taken one too many steps. And it's a Lancer ball. Harlan Banks with the inbound pass. That's to Isaiah Kerr. There's Daly. Now to Kerr. Now to Weitzel. Back to Banks. Signaling around, 15 on the shot clock. Three-point attempt. No, off the iron, and it's bounced around, but St. Ignatius gets it. Driving back, it looks like it's a 2-on-3. Now they settle it down a little bit. Now driving along the right side, and in and out there. Deflected, and St. Francis comes up with it. Rebound there by Isaiah Kerr. Now, kind of a hook shot there, and it's off the back iron. And here comes St. Ignatius again. Holds up his dribble, now goes for it, and the whistle goes. Might have been an ups and downs, and he's going to go to the line. That foul, I believe, was called on Isaiah Kerr. And King, let's see that one again. Coming around, and I didn't really see what the deal was, but we'll go back to it. Now, the referees have a better perspective on it than I do. King Wilhite, he's a freshman. He's the only freshman on this varsity team for the St. Ignatius Wildcats. And he just dropped 1 out of 2. So it's a 1-point lead now for the Lancers with 4:50 to go in the first period. Here comes Kerr into the forecourt. Cross-court pass. That's Banks. Pivoting. Back to Banks. Banks now driving. Now backing off a little bit. Stopping the dribble. Bounce pass. Change of pace now. Cross-court pass again, and that one's going to go out of bounds. And I don't think Isaiah Kerr took the time to get a destination for that pass. So the Lancers cough it up. And the whistle goes. And that's going to go against the Lancers. I didn't see who committed it. That's inbound. Keneally. Now there's Daniel Webster. Driving. Hands off, then an easy layup, and it's in and out. And Malcolm McCray-Hill is going to feel that one for a little while. And he'll go to the line. He's the shooting forward here for these St. Ignatius Wildcats. He is a senior. So this may be the last time he plays against these Lancers, and he drops it. And we got a 2-2 tie. Wildcats came into this game with a 7-12 record, and they are 2-5 on the road. But right now, they are actually ahead of the home team, St. Francis Lancers. And here comes Isaiah Kerr into the forecourt. Now down to Banks. Three-point attempt from the left side, and it's off the iron. Tipped, and there, St. Ignatius has it. That's McCray-Hill. Now to Webster. Webster now driving, and that one's blocked, and Toledo, the shooting guard, sophomore, almost took a header under the basket because he had some defense wrapped all over him. Maybe we'll see that one again, and it looked like almost a triple team there, but it was effective. Here come the Lancers again. There's Banks. Cross-court pass now to, that was Daly. Shot goes up, in and out. Oh, what a heartbreaker. And that one looked like they were going to try to save it, but it's out of bounds. And I think the Lancers will keep possession. And here comes Isaiah Kerr. He'll do the inbound pass. To Banks, and he pops it up immediately. And that one is headed out, and this time the Wildcats will get it. Well, there may be a low score, but there's no lack of excitement here so far. Here come the Wildcats into the forecourt. Now over to the right side. Pass in, over by the right post. Three-point attempt, and that one's off the iron. Struggle for it, and Ryan Daly comes up with it for the Lancers, and here comes Banks. And a three-point attempt. No, off the iron again. That was maybe the third or fourth attempt that the Lancers have made at the three-point field goal, and none of them have hit home so far. That's got to be a little frustrating for Mike Motil's crew. Now here come the Wildcats, and no one to block that one, but it is off the iron. They do get the rebound, and that one is stripped, but St. Ignatius is going to keep it. That's Ethan Jew, the center, who'll be doing the inbound duties. Ethan's a junior. Passes it. Now that's in and out of the hands of Rory Keneally. Three-point attempt now, and again off the iron, but the Lancers do get the rebound. Now they're taking it back out. That's to Kerr. And that's Behringer, and a three-point attempt in and out, a little bit too long. Rebound there by, I think that may have been, no, that was Quinn Broderick, I beg your pardon. Here comes King. King puts it up, and it falls. And a 5-2 lead for St. Ignatius, who probably have not forgotten the drubbing they got at the hands of the Lancers last month. Ooh, scoop shot, I think would be the only way to describe that, and it's a 5-4 game. Now driving, and a little bit now. He dishes it out, but he dishes it out the wrong way. And that is to Trevor Leone for the Lancers. Driving along the left side. It's blocked, and I think he draws the foul. And Leone will go to the line. Trevor Leone is a 5'11" senior, one of 4 seniors on this ball club. He's the small forward and the shooting guard. I don't know how small he is. He's 5'11". On a team that apparently their largest man is 6'6", and that would be John Frazier, number 13. But we've got a tie game once again now. Now to the top of the key. Keneally, and that one's tipped, and that one's going to go out of bounds, and I don't know. St. Francis is going to get it. And Karush Khan Adel not happy about that. But here they come. Here's Kerr. To Frazier. 3-point attempt and in and out, and that's been a source of frustration for the Lancers all night long. Now here come the Wildcats. Passing it around, and it's tipped. That's Trevor Leone. He tries his own 3-pointer, and that one's off the iron. Save, but it's out of bounds. Looks like St. Ignatius is going to get it back. Quinn Broderick making the in pass. Full court press now by the Lancers. Whistle goes. That was Karush Khan Adel. And it looks like we've got a timeout. So we'll step aside while the action is mapped out for us. We'll be right back to St. Francis High School. Back here at St. Francis High School with 1:10 to play in the first quarter, we got ourselves a 5-5 tie. And a low-scoring affair so far. But still a lot of good action on both sides. Now St. Ignatius has it. He's being double-teamed. Now it's back out to Webster. Now, and a 3-point attempt, and it won't go. A little bit short. Here comes Nepomuceno. Driving along the left side, lays it in. Beautiful attempt there. And St. Francis is back on top. 7-5 score. Here come the Wildcats. Khan Adel into the forecourt. Now to Webster. There's Broderick. Now to Khan Adel. Adel signaling to Webster. Now back over to Khan Adel. Back to Webster. And back to Khan Adel. Looks like we got a game of catch here, and we got 11 seconds on the shot clock. Make that 6 on the shot clock. They're going to have to get it off, and here comes a 3-pointer, and in and out. And the Lancers are probably just going to kill the clock at this point, and they do. And just like that, we have a 7-5 game at the end of 1 quarter of regulation. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll give you the West Catholic Athletic League standings, and I'll tell you a little bit about each of these teams. We'll be right back. We're back here at St. Francis High School, where the Lancers have a 7-5 lead. Here are your standings for the West Catholic Athletic League. Well, we'll get back to that as soon as we can. Very quickly, St. Ignatius coming in tonight with a 7. There we go. Archbishop Reardon leading the division. Mitty right behind them. Then Bellarmine, Sarah, St. Francis, and St. Ignatius. And then Sacred Heart and Valley Christian bringing up the rear. Valley Christian played these Lancers last Friday night. And the Lancers did come out victorious on in an away contest. But right now we're back. It's an 8-7 game, according to the scoreboard. I didn't see that somebody scored another point. And it's laid in. And we got ourselves a 9-8 game. I'm just going by what the scoreboard says. I think we may have miscounted a free throw there. 3-point attempt now. Somebody might have gotten a piece of that, and high rebound there. They do come out. There's a scramble for it. The whistle goes. I thought St. Ignatius had it. And St. Francis will come up with it. That's John Mansour, who's going to be making the inbound pass. He's a junior. He'll get that to Nolan Nepomuceno. Back to Leon. Leon driving around. He's taking a walk all over the place, and he comes up. No, that was about a 10-footer. Loose ball, and St. Francis is going to come up with it. That one was bounced around all over the place. Whoa. Nepomuceno now with the inbound pass. Now driving over to the left post. Now he's going to dish it out to Nolan. Again driving to the left post. Now dish it out again. That's Mansour. And now driving, and that one will fall. And Nolan Nepomuceno, the 5'10", 150-pound senior guard. King Wilhite. There's Karouche. Now out to King. Now driving, and the whistle goes. And it looks like we're going to have a foul there. That might have been a John Frazier. Inbound pass. And that one, now we're going to have a loose ball, but it is still inside. Here's Jew. Driving underneath, and he doesn't have any place to go, so he dishes it back out, and that one will drop. Malcolm McCray-Hill. Nepomuceno into the forecourt. Now after Mansour. 3-point attempt, and still no luck for the Lancers on that. Great attempt there by Frazier. John Frazier, number 13. Is the tallest man on this Lancer squad at 6'6". And I don't think he's got any competition from St. Ignatius on that score. So St. Ignatius will inbound the ball. And now they'll bring it up. Passed off now to King. Now to Giancarlo. Giancarlo Toledo now back out to King. King driving, and he won't be able to do it. He pulled up a little bit too close. Here, Rosecrans. Driving, 12-footer, in and out. And Lancers, there's a scramble for it, and Ethan Jew bangs on the floor saying, why didn't I just let that one go? Isaiah Kerr now going to be doing the honors for the Lancers, as they have a 1-point lead early in this second quarter. There's the pass. Driving to the left post, now dishes it out. Up and down, trying to again. Now he's going to dish it out right under the hoop. 3-point attempt now coming. And in and out again. And Ethan Jew with the rebound. Here come the Wildcats. Now they'll slow it down just a little bit. There's Keneally. And down it goes. Ethan Jew with the easy layup there. And it's 12-11 St. Ignatius. There's Rosecrans. Now to Banks. Cross-court pass. Trying to find a way in there. There's Daly. Now back out to Kerr. Driving, he's run into a crowd, and he's going to try to scoop it up, and he makes it. Harlan Banks. Magic with that underhand shot. And I don't think St. Ignatius has an answer for that yet, but time will tell. Pivoting. Now triple teamed, and he's going to lose it. And St. Ignatius will keep possession. St. Ignatius coming off a loss to Archbishop Reardon, whom we said earlier is the division leaders. That was last Friday on the road. Two and 5 road record for these Wildcats. Now a high inbound pass, Keneally got it. Now to King. King driving along the left side. He's going to back off. He might have taken too many steps. But that one was dropped. And it fell. It looks like, I don't know if it counted, but it doesn't look like it did. Okay, Jew with the inbound pass, looping it. And well defended there by St. Francis. Now Karouche will do the inbound pass. And he gets it out to Wilhite. Wilhite driving across the left side. Now all the way out to Jew. Jew passing now. A three-point attempt. Oh, and it's off the rim. Won't go. Here comes Kerr. Three-point. No, he thinks about a three-point attempt. Now backs off. Now that's Nipopasimo. Now Daly. Now driving into the paint. Hooks it, and not quite there. Off the far rim. Rebound there was by Toledo. Toledo now driving around. Now there's Karouche. Karouche driving in, and he's going to do some hooking of his own. That one doesn't go, but he gets his own rebound, puts it up again for about a 6-footer. That's no good. Now Jew gets the pounder, pulls up, whistle goes. And I do believe Ethan Jew is going to the line. And so St. Ignatius with a 1-point lead with 3:18 to go in this first half. St. Ignatius, unique in that they are the only team on the court tonight to have played in an overtime game. St. Francis has not had to play a 5th period of basketball so far this season. That may be decisive as time goes on. It may not mean anything. We will have to wait and see. Oh, good pressure defense there. There's Kerr. Kerr at the top of the key, now on the right post. He turns around, trying to dish it out. And it looks like he might have taken one too many steps. And St. Ignatius gets possession with a 2-point lead, which may be their biggest lead all night. St. Ignatius ranked 291st in the state of California. St. Francis ranked 76th. Now dishes it out, 3-point attempt. Off the iron, but it is rebounded. St. Ignatius keeps possession, and another 3-point attempt, and that one goes. That was King Wilhite. And now a 5-point lead for the Wildcats. Holy Toledo. Now driving, he loses it, and there's going to get a foul on that. And that foul is going to be on Harlan Banks, and Banks will get the inbound pass. I think St. Ignatius is now in the bonus. I'm not positive. Now St. Francis now in and out of the hands there of Isaiah Kerr. He did manage to scramble it, and the whistle going again. And Harlan Banks will do the inbound pass again, this time on the far side. Now Kerr, about midcourt, gets it out to Banks. Banks gave it to Daly. Now back to Banks. 3-point attempt, and this time it falls, and the Lancers finally get a 3-pointer. And here come the Wildcats into the forecourt. There's Keneally. Now to Wilhite. Wilhite driving into the paint. Tries to get a quick pass off, but it's broken up, and here comes Trevor Leone along the left side, and too hard on the lay-in. Loose ball now, the whistle goes. Somebody didn't like something, and I think St. Ignatius will take that one. So they put the ball into play. Here comes Webster. Webster now to Kennedy, and now dished back out, and Jackson Kennedy got the pass and said, what did I do wrong? And the referee said nothing, but you got to cough the ball up. So here come the Lancers. Isaiah Kerr bringing it in. Full court press now by St. Ignatius, who may sense they have the Lancers reeling just a little bit. Now driving off the screen. There's Daly. Daly giving it back now to Kerr. Kerr driving. Did he get the charge? I think he did. Let's see that one again. And it looks like he might have pushed off on that just a little bit. And Karouche was the victim, if you can call it that. Now here comes Karouche. Now he's driving into traffic. Now gives it to Malcolm. Malcolm gives it to Jackson Kennedy, and Kennedy is told again, hold it right there. And St. Francis will get it again. And Jackson Kennedy got to be a little bit frustrated, saying, hey, can I get into this game, please? Now Isaiah Kerr. Less than a minute to go now in the half. Dishes it off to Banks. Three-point attempt, and just not there. Daly gets the rebound. Now Daly back to Banks. Banks almost to mid-court there. There's Leone. Leone gives it back now to Kerr. Daly to Kerr. Kerr to Daly. Daly driving into the paint, tries to do a pull-up, and I don't know if he got anything on that. And the referee blew a whistle. And Ryan Daly's got himself a ticket to Free Throwville. Ryan Daly is a 6'5" senior. He's been known to play power forward. That's been the role he's been playing tonight. And he's also taken a turn or two at center along with Kyle Rosecrans. St. Francis has the statistical advantage tonight. They've outscored their opponents in the first 3 quarters, but just by an average of 3 points. So it does not suggest a runaway. And what we just saw there doesn't suggest that that margin's going to get any larger. St. Ignatius does tend to do its best work in the 4th quarter, and if we have a tight match, and we've had one so far tonight, that may be decisive. And Daly gets 1 for 2 with about 6.5 on the clock. St. Ignatius is going to try for a last-minute bucket, and the whistle goes, and the coaches are demanding some attention right now. Here come the Wildcats. That's King. Trying to get past that, and he puts up about a 13-footer at the buzzer. Did it go in? It did. And the first half closes with St. Ignatius delivering a wake-up call to the home court St. Francis Lancers. They got a 3-point lead, 2 quarters left to go. We'll step aside. We'll come back for the second half. Don't go away. Welcome back to St. Francis High School, where you can see that the St. Ignatius Wildcats have opened up a 3-point lead at halftime over the St. Francis Lancers. You're going to be seeing some highlights of the first half while I give you just a little bit of the story of what's happened so far tonight. The story has really been one of unlucky or inaccurate 3-point shooting for St. Francis High School. They were only going for about 1 for 10 from the floor from that particular range. On the other side, you saw a lot of fast breaks by St. Ignatius, but just as important was that St. Ignatius was very successful in drawing fouls. They went to the line 3 or 4 times during the first half compared to only once for the Lancers. Both teams were in bonus territory by midway through the second quarter. So fouls became or started to become an issue in this contest as we began to close out the first half. People that were particularly notable, there were a lot of key plays, of course. On the St. Ignatius side, people to watch in the second half will include number 2, Malcolm McCray-Hill, who did a lot of playmaking, not only in scoring, but in dishing the ball out to have his teammates score. And that's in spite of being double-teamed a lot. King Wilhite, as I said earlier, the point guard and the lone freshman on the St. Ignatius varsity squad, also doing some excellent jobs of shooting and penetrating through, especially in the paint. Shooting guard Daniel Webster, the senior, probably no relation to the senator from New Hampshire of the 19th century, but he was also very effective in really commandeering the offense. For St. Francis, you saw Trevor Leone and Ryan Daly doing a lot of their best work in the forecourt in terms of passing the ball around and making attempts, although Daly was very unlucky in not getting more accuracy with his 3-point shot. As far as doing the dirty work for the Lancers, you had number 5, Harlan Banks, and number 22, Isaiah Kerr, bringing the ball up, passing it, and getting the rest of the teams involved. So those people are the ones you're going to want to watch tonight for the remainder of this contest. You have Mike Motil's Lancers and Rob Marcoletti's Wildcats, and we're just about ready to start our second half. And here we go. Isaiah Kerr bringing it into the forecourt now. Now to Banks. Banks pivots. Now back to Banks. Banks driving. Now dishing it out. And the Lancers still looking for a way to work it in. 14 on the clock. And there she blows. There is what Ryan Daly's number 23 has been looking for all night, is a straightaway 3-pointer. And good on him. Now here come the Wildcats. That's King Wilhite. Low pass right under the basket, tries to loop it in. It's tipped up, and the Lancers come away with it. Okay, that was apparently just a 2-point shot. I thought it was a 3-point, and Trevor Leone went up and came back down with the basketball, and you can't do that. Wildcat ball. And they're holding on to a 1-point lead after the Ryan Daly bucket, which I thought had been a 3-pointer, was only 2. Here's Jew. Now back to Jew. He's in the paint. Now he dishes it out. 3-point attempt now, and a little bit long off the iron. That was King Wilhite. So here comes Daly. Daly passes it off. That's to Banks. Now Daly driving, and he was double-teamed there. I'm not sure if that was a shooting foul. It may have been. Now you can see Daly coming in, faked the shot, and had a man in front of him and a man behind him. And I wasn't sure if it was McCray-Hill or Jew that caused the foul. And now, great shot there by Trevor Leone. A 2-pointer, and the Lancers have regained the lead. In comes Webster. Now back to Webster. Webster driving across the right side, now dishes it out. Cross-court pass now to Toledo. And now driving in, and he's going to try about a 4-footer and a little bit short, and I believe he'll draw the foul. Trevor Leon can't believe it. But Daniel Webster will now go to the line. First shooting foul of the second half. And he sinks the first one. Another phenomenon that I noticed in the first half was that when you had people shooting 2 shots, as often as not, the first one didn't go in. And so, double ace right there for Daniel Webster. And we got a tie game again. Rosecrans. Now back out to Leon, 3-pointer and off the iron. Oh, great attempt there, but rebound goes to the Wildcats, and that's Quinn Broderick. Now Webster. Webster to... Now that's deflected. Here comes Leon. Bounce pass now. They hold it up and goes for a layup, and it's deflected. And the Wildcats have it again. Here comes Broderick. Now he passes it in. Now over to the left post. Driving in by the right post, about a 5-footer, and it's blocked. But he does pick it up again. That's that's Giancarlo Toledo. There's Broderick. Broderick now to Kennedy. Kennedy screening. And so they try to get it into Kennedy in the key, but they can't do it. Now Leon looking back. Here's Daly, and Daly sinks it. 2-point lead now for the Lancers with just under 5 minutes to go in the third period. Now to Toledo. Now to Webster. Webster to Broderick. And, ooh, 3-footer. Bounced around a little bit, but the Lancers pick it up with the rebound. Here comes Kerr. Kerr going to try a 3-pointer of his own, and it doesn't go, but it's followed right up. 3 attempts there, and they don't quite get it. And Rosecrans making a great attempt. He's helped up by some of the Wildcats. And Kyle Rosecrans will go to the line. Kyle Rosecrans, center and a power forward. He stands 6 feet tall. He missed that first one. And he makes the second one. So we're back to a 3-point lead now for the Lancers. And so St. Ignatius, who has not been on the short end much tonight, now finds himself down. Here comes Wilhite. Now brings it into the forecourt slowly. Now off the screen. He's going to give it back, and he traveled. And that's got to be frustrating. So here comes Harlan Banks. He'll inbound it to Isaiah Kerr. Kerr bringing it into the forecourt. Now back to Banks. Banks bobbles a little bit, but he has it. Now to, that's Nicholas Weitzel. And that one, nothing but net, and a great shot there once again by Trevor Leon. 6-point lead now for the Lancers. Now passed. Almost lost control of that, Rory Keneally. Now Karouche directing traffic. Breaking in, is he going to be able to make it? No, it's under the backboard, and it won't go. And here comes Leon, putting on the brakes. Now, 3-point attempt, and it goes! And that shot will go to Vince Behringer, a sophomore shooting forward. And St. Ignatius has had enough. They want a timeout. will take one, too. So with 3:22 left to go in the third quarter, Lancers 31, Wildcats 22. Don't go away. Back at St. Francis High School, the Lancers, maybe having learned their lesson from the second quarter, now have opened up a 9-point lead over the visiting Wildcats, and maybe looking to add on to that, although right now St. Ignatius is going to go to the line. Rory Keneally is the shooter. He's a power forward and center. I don't have his height, but I do know he's a sophomore, one of 6 sophomores on this ball club. And that first one, maybe Keneally perhaps feeling the pressure a little bit. Chorus of questionable sportsmanship there. And he does get the second one, so it's an 8-point lead now. Here come the Lancers. Epicimo. There's Behringer. Now Weitzel. Weitzel looking for a way in. Dishes it out now to Mepasimo. Now back to Leon. Now Banks. Banks setting a screen now. 3-point, no, okay, goes back out. Leon dishes it out. And that one, that was an attempt there by Nepasimo, but the Wildcats got a piece of it. And Nepasimo will go to the line. Nolan Nepasimo, one of 4 seniors. He's 5'10", and he's a shooting guard. And he just showed us why, because he built it up back up to a 9-point lead now for the home team Lancers. Now he'll take his second one, and that one probably a little short. Best coaches in the world say you gotta aim for the back of the rim, particularly in free throws. Shooters like the great Bill Sharman, who played so many years for the Boston Celtics and then was coaching in both San Francisco and Los Angeles. And that one is off the iron, so 1 out of 3. Here comes Will Height. Will Height driving and lays it in rapidly. 32-25 now with about 2.5 to play in the third. From the Lancers, Weitzel driving, and he does get it in. What a great fake out there. Nicholas Weitzel, number 3. Speaking of number 3s, there's King Wilhite. Now Karouche. Bounce pass in. Now looking for an in. Backing up, and oh, 3-footer and off the iron. And McCray-Hill go to the line. Malcolm McCray-Hill shooting forward, senior. And he does drop it. Keeping it close. Now it's an 8-point game. Just under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. And the Lancers have opened up an impressive lead, which is now cut to 7. So there's life in the Wildcats yet. Now bringing into the forecourt. There's Weitzel. Weitzel to Nepasimo. To Daly. Now to Weitzel. Weitzel ducking back out. Here's Daly. And a 3-point attempt, and it won't go. Scramble for the rebound. St. Ignatius does come up with it, and the whistle goes. Karouche Khan Adel will do the honors with the inbound pass. Now here come the Wildcats, bringing it into the forecourt slowly. Not too worried about time right now. Driving, trying to get from under the basket. There's Jew, and he does it. As the lead's now cut to 5. 3-point attempt now, and it's good. Vince Behringer, that may have been his second one. Now, St. Ignatius beginning to worry a little bit about time. Top of the key. Now passed in. There's Wilhite under the basket, and he's going to lay it in, and he does. 6-point deficit now. Here come the Lancers right back. To Daly. Daly to Nepo. Nepo-Simo. Bounce pass back to Daly. 3-pointer, and it's good. And that's got to be the third one that Vince Behringer has dropped. Great shooting by the 6'5" sophomore. As the Lancers continue to build their lead, back to 9. And a great shot there. I think that may have also gone, and that was a 3-point attempt, and very close to getting what might be described as a 4-point attempt there by the Lancers at the last second. So with 1 quarter to go, St. Ignatius fighting back just a little bit. It's a 6-point deficit. We'll be back with the 4th quarter. Don't go away. Welcome back to St. Francis High School, as the St. Francis Lancers, after having been down by 3 at halftime, are now up by 6. When they played these Wildcats last time, that was last month on January 14th, they ended up with a 12-point victory, and it looks like they may be trying to get another one. Whether it will be of that margin or whether it exists at all, we'll have to wait and see. But with 8 minutes to go, St. Francis does have the advantage. Inbound pass now from Daly to Nepo-Simo. Nepo-Simo bringing it in. Strong defense there, and I think maybe a little too strong. Karush is going to get called for the push on that. I think that's his second foul. Kyle Rosecrans will make the inbound pass. Oh, and somebody hit the deck. That was Nepo-Simo, I think. And a substitution now, but the Lancers will take the ball again. And just like that, we have 2 team fouls. Nepo-Simo now bringing it in one more time. And it's passed perfectly under the net to Kyle Rosecrans, who lays it in. And right now, St. Ignatius doesn't have any answers for the St. Francis attack. A turntable dribble, and that's poked out by Nepo-Simo. I believe that St. Ignatius will retain possession. It's Daniel Webster doing the honors. Now back to Webster from Kennedy. There's Wilhite. 3-point attempt from the left side, and it's good. So now a 5-point game. I take it back. Maybe St. Ignatius does have an answer, but they do have to keep the pressure on their defense if they want to stay in this thing. And a 3-pointer now, and that one won't go. Rebounded now by Rosecrans, and he'll try to lay it in, and that won't go. And there's a struggle for the ball. Karush was in on it, and St. Ignatius will come up with the ball. Daniel Webster in, now to King Wilhite. To Webster. To was that Conroy? No, it's Toledo. Now to Keneally. Driving, back out, 3-point attempt. And it's good. Now just a 2-point lead for the Lancers. There's Napo. Now to Kerr. To Daly. And now Leon with a 3-point attempt, and that won't go. St. Ignatius coming back quickly, driving, and he loses the ball. That's going to hurt King Wilhite. Here come the Lancers now. Leon with a 3-point attempt, and it's off the iron and over the backboard. I don't know if Daly stepped out or quite what happened, but I do know St. Ignatius has it, and they're only down by 2 points. Here comes Wilhite, trying to redeem his dribbling a little bit after that. Passes off to Kennedy. Now to Wilhite. Wilhite driving, and no, it's in and out. Heartbreaker there. And here comes Nepesimo. He's going to drive. He's going to go for it, and it's off the iron. It's out of bounds, and St. Ignatius will come up with it. So the Wildcats dodge another bullet there and keep it close. A 42-40 game with just under 6 minutes to play. So we may see an overtime game, and St. Francis doesn't have any experience with that this year. Ooh, that'll be a reach around, I think. Yeah, that was Quinn Broderick who had it stripped off of him, and then I think it was Leon who started jumping up and down saying, oh, how could I have done that? And here's Quinn Broderick. No, here isn't Quinn Broderick because there's a timeout on the court, so we'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away. Welcome back to St. Francis High School. When we left you there, Quinn Broderick was about to take his 2 shots, and so let's see how he does with them. And the first one, perfect. And that's now a 1-point lead for the Lancers. This is a real West Catholic Athletic League game, just what we hope we'd get. And you got yourself a tie game, folks. 5.5 to play, and the Wildcats have come all the way back from 9 points down. A remarkable effort. Now, here come the Lancers trying to get it back in. He's being double-teamed. Now trying to press in, now dishes it out. Now back to Daly. Now Kerr working on the double team. 11 on the shot clock, it's tipped. Daly does get it back, passes it to Leon. 3-pointer, no, off the rim. And Toledo with the rebound. Here comes Broderick. Broderick slowing it down a little bit. Now Webster. Now Toledo, kind of directing traffic now. Now a drive in at the foul line. He ducks around and he drops it. And that was Rory Keneally. And now St. Ignatius has pulled ahead of the Lancers. Lancers trying to work it in for a good shot. A lot of screening here. Now triple teamed, but he did get the layup in. That was Nepesimo to bring it back to a tie. Here's Webster now. Webster driving along the right post. Now passes it off to Kennedy. Kennedy loses his dribble. And this really isn't Jackson Kennedy's night. So now looking for something to do with it, and Trevor Leon was all over him on that one. And this is not a night he will remember fondly. All right, just under 4 minutes to play. We've got a 44-44 tie. Lots of fours in that last sentence. Here's Daly. To Leon. No, that's Nepesimo. Now Daly. Now there's Leon. Back to Nepesimo. Daly now trying to get it in, and off the fingertips of Harlan Banks, and St. Ignatius has it again. Working it in, looped into Jew. Now Jew's double teamed, triple teamed, lost his dribble, three-point attempt, and it goes! And St. Ignatius has a three-point lead now. So let's see what the Lancers can do. They've been pretty lucky in this half, or pretty accurate in this half with those three-point field goals. Let's see if they can pull out another one. Nepesimo driving now to Leon. Leon driving, he's at the foul line. Now he dishes it off, and he throws it right into the stands. And that's frustrating. Daniel Webster will do the honors again right in front of the student section for St. Francis. So he's in occupied territory right now. 2:55 to go. And the Wildcats are going to call a timeout. So we'll step aside. We'll see what the coaches have to say to their teams. It's 44-47 St. Ignatius. We'll be right back. Back at St. Francis High School with 2:49 to play, and we've got ourselves a horse race here. St. Ignatius up by 3 points, having come back from 9 points down earlier this half. So now we're going to see if they can hold on or whether St. Francis is going to send this one to overtime. As I've said before, St. Ignatius has played an overtime game this season. The Lancers have not, so that may become an issue. That's Wilhite. Keneally driving, now dishes it out to Jew. Jew puts it up and doesn't get anywhere. He couldn't get out of that triple team. Now here comes Banks. Banks out to Kerr. Kerr to Leon. Leon driving a little bit. Now back to Banks. Banks laying it up, and he draws them to within one. And now St. Ignatius feeling the pressure a little bit. Now there's Wilhite off of a screen. He's going to dish it out. Now to Jew underneath the hoop, and he does lay it in. And the lead is back to 3 now. Under 2 minutes to go. And the Lancers are going to need to pull ahead, and they've got some pressure defense now. Dribbling behind his back. Now that one's deflected, and St. Ignatius keeps it in. Some quick passes there. Wilhite ends up with it. Now he'll slow it down a little bit, trying to use the clock to his advantage. There's a screen there by Jew, and he drives across the right side and lays it in. It's a 5-point lead now, and whistles are going all over the place, and I think we're going to have another timeout. A little bit of extracurricular activity there. I think we may have a couple of technical fouls being handed out here. These young men, when you have such a close game, emotions can and do run high. And there's no question both these teams are competing. They're in the middle of the pack in West Catholic Athletic League. So we'll see how things play out for the rest of this time. And now the Lancers will be inbounding it. They'll have 1:27 to work with and 5 points to catch up on. And there they go. Kerr. Now to Dayton. And Leon lays it in. Great work there. And Kyle Rosekrantz was involved with that too, and now they're going to take a timeout. 3-point deficit, don't go away. Back here at Alumni Gym in St. Francis High School. These two teams separated by 3 points, and we got 1:17 left in this contest. So we're going to see who wants it more and who will take it. Right now, St. Ignatius with the lead and the ball. And another timeout is called as King Wilhite couldn't find any place to throw it. So we'll step away again. Don't go away. We're going to have an exciting finish here. .106 to go in this one, and St. Ignatius has the ball and the lead. Toledo now with it. Passes it. Karush going traffic. Now there's Jew. Now back to Karush. Now to Wilhite. Wilhite driving in. He's going to try a pull-up, and it's blocked. And the Lancers come up with it, and do they get the lay-in? They do! And now it's just a 1-point lead with 38 seconds to go. And Wilhite maybe trying to kill a little clock here. Now 30 seconds left, 28 on the shot clock. They're going to have to get rid of it at some point. Here's Jew. Jew to Wilhite. Wilhite off the screen. He keeps it, and it's stolen by the Lancers. And the whistle goes. We had a tug of war, and the Lancers get the ball. 15 seconds, and a timeout called. Let's see that last struggle there. So it was picked up there by Isaiah Kerr, and he and King Wilhite having a tug of war over that. So now the Lancers and the referees having a little bit of a conversation right there. As both these teams, and there is the St. Francis student section. They were doing a little bit of extracurricular booing and hissing a little while ago. I think the head coach has probably warned them about that. That is a new message. In the past couple of years, both here and at Santa Clara Valley Athletic League and CCS and other divisions, sportsmanship has really become a theme, and well, it should be. So, 15 seconds left in this one. The Lancers have the ball. They are down by 1. We're going to get an exciting finish to this no matter how you slice it. Harlan Banks to do the honors. Or is he? And another timeout is called. They want to get their stories straight, I guess. That is the last timeout that St. Ignatius has. They will not be able to stop the clock again. St. Francis has 2 more. St. Francis with 8 team fouls. The Wildcats with 7. Both teams are now in the bonus. And by all accounts, this is a closer game than we've had coming down the stretch since the last time these two teams met. In the third quarter of that event, St. Francis outscored the Wildcats 20-12. This was last month I'm describing, en route to a 56-44 victory. But we won't be seeing any deficits of anywhere near that size tonight. So now maybe we'll get the inbound pass. It is still Harlan Banks who'll be doing the honors. Inbound pass to Kerr. Kerr coming in. Now to Rosecrans. Rosecrans pivots around. Only 5 on the shot clock. They're going to need to get it off soon, and there it goes, and it's off the rim, and they try for another one. It's blocked. Time has expired. But I don't think this game is quite over. They're going to have to put some time back on the clock, I think. So the Lancers may get one more shot at this after all. They have put
2/10 of a second on the board. And this really is going to be last licks for the Lancers, who will use their next to last timeout. My goodness. From here, both of these teams will be going on to other games, of course. The Wildcats will be hosting Midi on Friday night, and I believe that'll be in San Francisco. For the Lancers, they will be on the road, and they'll be playing at Sacred Heart this Friday night. Two-tenths of a second, and that's what stands between a victory or a loss. And I do not envy the shooting guards of the St. Francis Lancers tonight, because this is going to be their one and only chance to get the victory for their team. For St. Ignatius, it's lockdown time. You lose your man, you lose the game. Here it comes. And it's looped up, and it goes in! And the Lancers pull it out at the very last second by 1 point. We're gonna see the alley-oop again, and there it comes, and it just trickles in off of the hot hand of Harlan Banks. And that will do it. As St. Ignatius is stunned at what has happened. But St. Francis comes away with the victory in the best high school basketball game you're likely to see this side of a national championship. 52-51 Lancers, and this one was a beauty. Tonight's show was produced by Josh Young. Thanks, big guy, for your work today. Director and the truck engineer was my good buddy, Rene Antonio Mendoza. Good to be working with you again, Rene. Breen Yuen was one of our cameramen, Josh Young, doubling on the other camera. Special thanks to St. Francis High School and the Brothers of the Holy Cross for the use of the hall tonight. This was KMVT 15. I'm Mike Messner reminding you, run for the roses, but don't forget to stop and smell them. Good night, all. See you next time.